34,000 miles. That's 161,000 more miles than the Reds. To put that in further perspective, the difference is the equivalent of circling the Earth's equator 6.5 times. So we should never complain about our travel ever again. Scott Service is the first-year manager for Seattle, and he's off to a great start with his club first in the American League West. And here's how he'll line them up tonight. The youngster Ketel Marte will lead it off, the switch hitter, followed by Seth Smith. 3, 4, and 5, Robinson Cano, Nelson Cruz, and Kyle Seager. Look out. We'll talk about them coming up. Adam Lynn will be at first base. Chris Iannetta hanging the signs behind the plate. Leonis Martin in center. And on the mound, Hisashi Iwakuma. Dan Straley, the righty. Big challenge tonight, Cowboy.
Well, I'm a firm believer that good pitching gets out good hitting. And if you make your pitches and you keep the ball down in the strike zone and you don't pitch in a predictable fashion, you can get even out the best hitters. And that'll be the task that Dan Straley is going to have to put forth here tonight. He's got some awfully good hitters. They're on a good roll. But if he makes his pitches and he stays down, he should be fine.
We are set for action. To a rain delay, first pitch from Straley. Ball 1. And we are underway. A 45-minute rain delay. Start this one. 59-degree temperature as well. That rain came through and it cooled off in a hurry.
Yes, it did.
2-0 the count to the youngster Ketel Marte. Switch hitter, as I said, just 22 years old, from the Dominican Republic, and they're expecting great things from this kid right here. 280 hitter, 1 home run, 13 runs driven in. See if Cozart has room, slides, nearly makes the catch. Zach can get up okay. A little wet over there. Infield was covered. Foul territory in the outfield was not.
You have to wonder when Cozart heads towards the wall like that. Okay, am I thinking about my repaired knee, or am I just going after the baseball? It appeared on that play he wasn't thinking about it at all, just trying to catch the baseball.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And down goes Marte. Here's your 4 defensive lineup for the Reds. Around the outfield, Duvall, Hamilton, and Bruce. Normal starters tonight: Suarez, Cozart, Phillips, Votto. In the infield, hanging the signs for Dan Straley, Takabanha. In steps Seth Smith.
Well, the best way to limit this Mariners club offensively is to get out the guys in front of the big boys. Seth Smith, Ketel Marte. You keep them off the base paths in front of Robinson Cano. That way, if you do make a mistake to Cano, it's just a solo shot and not a 2 or 3 run jack.
Smith, a 240 hitter. And Straley's falling behind 2-0. Straley's going to have to face a ton of lefties tonight. Switch hitting Marte to lead off. Smith's a lefty. Cano, Seager, Lind. In fact, this Mariners club, most plate appearances by left-handed batters this year, 1,055. Far and away the most in the big leagues. But on the flip side, Straley's been very good against left-handed hitters.
Yeah, that changeup tends to be quite the equalizer for Dan Straley, and he will pitch inside with both the slider and the fastball.
After falling behind 2-0, even up the count at 2-2.
Well, we saw him come in early in the count to Marte. Then you see him come in here to Seth Smith on a 2-1 fastball to set up that changeup. Those are some pretty good numbers against lefties right there.
Tell you
121.
What, 121 batting average. That is better than Clayton Kershaw and Danny Salazar for tops in Major League Baseball so far this year. It just wears you out when you're a right-handed pitcher most of the time when you're facing a left-handed laden lineup.
Well, that's why you've got to have something that goes away from the lefties or something dominant that cuts in on their hands if you're a right-handed pitcher.
3-2 pitch. Check swing and a foul ball. This Mariners club is one of those clubs that Jerry DiPoto took over, and he's preaching on base percentage. They'll work the count. They'll go deep into counts, not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. So in addition to making it tough on the righty with so many left-handed batters, they will also work that count, and they get that pitch count up for starters all season long so far. Count remains 3-2 to Seth Smith.
I think the thing that you can look for predominantly through this night, Straley is going to use the changeup at any time. He'll throw it 2-0. He'll throw it 0-2. He feels like it's just as good as his breaking ball.
Ground ball, and Joey Votto, I think, thought Brandon Phillips was closer to that ball, and he was.
Well, we saw last night where Votto came off the bag and cut right in front of Brandon Phillips, almost cost Phillips an error, and Votto got in a place he probably should not have been. And then on this ground ball, he doesn't break for it at all.
See it right here as Votto just went to the bag. Not sure he could have gotten the ball anyway. Nonetheless, a base hit for Seth Smith, and just what you were talking about. Try to get that guy out before Cano steps to the plate. Robinson Cano, .299 average, 12 home runs, a league leading 36 runs driven in. And after a year of settling in with that big contract in Seattle, man, is it paying dividends now?
I think the first time through the lineup is a pitcher's advantage. The hitter has not seen you. He doesn't know what you have on that given night. The issue is you've got to throw a limited amount of pitches to each batter. You don't want to throw 5 or 6 to every batter that comes up there. Then he's got to see everything you have.
Liner, backhander by Phillips, knocks it down and gets the out at first.
Nice play.
Nice job of Phillips just to knock that ball down, and had enough time to go back and get it and make the out at first.
Got 2 of the better second basemen in the game as far as their careers here in the big leagues, with both Brandon Phillips and Robinson Cano, and Phillips shows off exactly why he's one of those guys.
So with the runner in scoring position, Straley will have to deal with Nelson Cruz. Cruz, a .282 hitter, 8 home runs, 27 runs driven in. It is a 1-2-3 punch in the middle of the lineup for these Mariners. First pitch strike.
I think the key for Straley against Cruz, you get ahead with the fastball as he did there, and then you just slider Cruz to death.
Cruz 2 for 9 in his career against Straley. He does have a home run, a double, and a run driven in. Also struck out twice. 1 ball, 1 strike. We are just underway at GABP. And the 1-1. Out back.
You heard Straley talking right before we began the ball game about trying to induce weak early contact. That way your pitch count stays low and it allows you to get deeper into the ball game, and goodness knows the Reds need a starter to get 6 or 7 in.
In the air to center field, actually drifting over towards right center, and Bruce has it. And Straley gets through the first. Reds coming to bat. 1, and we're scoreless. Reds and Mariners on Fox Sports Ohio. Here's how Brian Price will line them up tonight. Typical lineup that we've seen, at least the one he likes to put out there. Cozart will lead it off. Billy Hamilton in the 2 spot. Votto, Phillips, Bruce, 3, 4, 5. Eugenio Suarez at third base. Adam Duvall in left. Barnhart behind the plate, and Straley the pitcher. And on the mound, 35-year-old righty Hisashi Iwakuma.
He has had some great years in Seattle. Velocity down a bit. As we said earlier, the 2 names that you really recognize in this rotation for the Mariners are this guy and King Felix Hernandez, who we will see tomorrow.
If you like outstanding pitching, come on out to the yard tomorrow. One of the best you'll ever see. He has been in a Mariners uniform for, it seemed like yesterday they came into the league, but it's been a minute now. 120th career appearance tonight for Iwakuma. His 106th major league start. Ground ball to short. Marte's got it, 1 down. Here's your 4 defensive lineup for the Mariners. Around the outfield, Smith, Martin, Cruz. Seager down at third base. Marte at short, who just made the play. Robinson, Cano at second. Lind at first. Hanging the signs for Iwakuma is Chris Iannetta. Oh, with 1 out, here's Billy Hamilton. We've seen Hamilton's bat slowly start to get healthy.
You know, Jim, I've had quite a few people ask me, why isn't Suarez hitting in the number 2 spot? That's where he seems to be doing his best, and bat Billy in another spot. Ultimately, for Brian Price and for the Reds, as the years go on, you want Suarez to be a guy that is looking at RBI numbers, hitting in that 4th, 5th, maybe 6th spot. And Hamilton is a speed guy, and that's where you want him in the top of the order. So you're trying to get these guys used to hitting in those types of situations.
Last 6 games, there you see over the 300 mark. 1-2 pitch. Tell you what, Billy likes hitting up there at number 2. He would prefer the leadoff spot, though I think the Reds would prefer that long term. But I know one thing, he does not like to hit 9th. He has been very open about that. That when you come in and you see your name 9th, it kind of takes the wind out of your sails a bit. Not this time, though, as he pops it up. Seager has it, 2 down.
Well, I don't think anybody likes to hit 9th. That's a position player. But you know as well as I do, Jim, it all comes down to results. That's what the big leagues are about. It's about results.
Yep.
It's not about winning friends and influence people. It's about getting on base at the top of the order and giving your team a chance to drive you in. And if you don't get on base, then you're going to hit at the bottom of the order.
Here's Votto with 2 down. No Red has faced Iwakuma in their career. Here you see the numbers. They are very un-Votto-like so far, although he did hit a home run here last night, his 6th. Picking up, 4th inning, 2-run job. You let him get his arms extended, look out. Cowboy, how surprised have you been that pitchers this year, they have been challenging Votto, and they've been challenging him on the inside part of the plate?
Well, you had to know that that was going to come sooner or later, especially when you see Joey pull the hands in almost to his stomach and kind of take that chop swing where he fouls the ball off. If you're a veteran pitcher, you've been around for a while, that's the kind of swing you want a hitter to have.
4-pitch walk, though, this time for Votto.
But the key for Votto right now, and this is why I believe, and I was telling Marty Brennaman this yesterday. I think Joey is just on the cusp of busting back out. The reason I say that, he is squared up about 5 or 6 pitches, whether it be the first pitch or the second pitch of an at bat, and he has pulled them to the right side of second base. Now that tells me, okay, you want to pitch me in, then I'm going to jump on that pitch. And if you're watching on video, and Lord knows we've got video all over the place this day and age, the opponents see that and say, okay, well, he's starting to look in, let's go back away, and you're playing right into his hand.
Cleanup hitter Brandon Phillips. Votto at first. First pitch swinging, foul ball. 257 is Brandon. 6 long balls, 19 RBIs. Phillips last night 0 for 4. As the Indians did a number on the Reds. 4 straight games. The 1 pitch fouled out of play, so Iwakuma ahead 0-2. Fifth season now in the bigs after many years in Japan. 38-29 record and that 3.25 ERA when you're pitching in the American League, not too shabby.
And the fact that he's got a 3.04 ERA on the road, 24-11 in those ball games.
Jammed him.
The number that I can't get out of my head, Jim, is the fact that when the Mariners score 3 runs, not 4, 5, or 6, 3 runs, he is 41-7, Iwakuma. That is tremendous.
It's really an unbelievable stat. That's in 61 career starts when receiving at least 3 runs of support. 41-7.
He's a strike thrower.
He's ahead 0-2. Outside. Doesn't walk many either.
And you can see here early in this ball game already a tendency with Iwakuma, and we don't see him hardly ever, but he likes to locate the ball down and away from the batters and put the ball right at the kneecaps.
Most runners he's walked in a game this year was his first start, just 3 walks. Last time out, though, he's looking to rebound against the Los Angeles Angels. 6 1/3, 9 hits, 4 earned runs in that start.
That was not a good series for the Mariners. They got swept, and that was at home.
Yep.
But they righted the ship in Baltimore. Reds are trying to kick them back into that Angels gear here at Great American Ballpark.
1-2 pitch in the air to left. Hit pretty good. Off the wall. Votto's coming to third. Hatcher's going to wave him around. Here comes the throw. And he is going to be in there. Catcher dropped the ball. Catcher catches that one. He is out by a mile. Reds get a break. Iannetta couldn't glove it.
Looked like a changeup. Iannetta wanted it away, and it ended up coming back into Phillips. He got just enough of the barrel to the ball. Off the wall. Smith got it in a hurry, and Votto really was a dead duck, and I think Iannetta knew that he had Votto and just forgot to catch the baseball.
So the Reds get a big break right there, and with 2 down in the inning and 1 in, Phillips at second. Here's Jay Bruce.
I think sometimes as a position player, you know you have an easy out. You have a tendency to relax just for a second. And sometimes when you relax at the big league level, bad things happen.
First pitch strike to Bruce. Last night Jay went 0 for 4, snapping his season high 5-game hitting streak. But as we've seen so many times, the month of May,
scalding.
Month of May is his month. Hitting .317 in the month of May. 4 home runs, 12 runs driven in. See what he's got here. Jay doesn't even have an explanation why the month of May is so good for him. In fact, if anyone figures out the game of baseball, give me his or her name, because no one's been able to figure it out yet. They're trying, though, with all these analytics. They're trying, but no one's been able to quite completely figure it out. That's why we love the game so much. For whatever reason, May is his month. He's got one sitting out there with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. 0-2 pitch. Ground ball, foul.
I love the fact that we are in the information age as far as baseball is concerned. You can dial up pretty much anything that any player does, check the video, check the tendencies. But the bottom line is those numbers are not going to help you when it gets down to hitting a 2-strike slider or making a 2-strike slider on the outside corner as a pitcher. That still comes down to teaching and the mental aspect of the game.
Bring him up. Iwakuma strands one, but not before Phillips drives in a 1. Reds lead. Tale of 2 teams. Mariners, best team on the road, 34 home runs, second in Major League Baseball. Reds 36 home runs here at home, first in the bigs. Look at the runs. Mariners scoring a ton on the road, and the Reds scoring well here at home as well, 3rd best. But that road situation for Cincinnati, a whole different ball game. Just 3-14 record on the road. Meanwhile, the Mariners are 15-7. And as we said earlier, they are the only team in Major League Baseball that is yet to lose a road series. And we are deep into May. Kyle Seager leads it off here in the top of the second for Seattle. In his career versus Straley, 3 for 9. Home run, a double. Run batted in, 3 walks.
This is the part of interleague play that I actually enjoy, is seeing players like a Robinson Cano or Kyle Seager, Nelson Cruz. They're pretty much lifers. Well, not Seager, he just got started, but the other two pretty much lifers in the AL. And if you didn't have interleague play, the only time you'd ever see them is if you were playing them in the World Series.
All right. 4-pitch walk to Seager. So not the start to the second Straley was looking for. Here's Adam Lynn, 224 hitter, 12 runs driven in.
Boy, Lynn wore the Reds out in a Brewers uniform.
He certainly did. And he spent the first 8 years of his career with Toronto. Now playing in Seattle. And there's those numbers, Cowboy. Numbers back it up. Mercy.
Likes to hit the ball the other way. If you don't get him in and make him conscious of the ball inside, he can hurt you.
1 ball, 1 strike. Lynn now 32. And the Mariners got him in a trade with Milwaukee in exchange for Carlos Herrera, Daniel Masaki, and Freddie Peralta. That happened on December 9th of last year. Signed through this season. Hard hit ball into right field. Bruce will cut it off, but not before Seager heads to third, and the Mariners are in business. First and third, nobody down.
Had him out in front with the changeup, but you see where the changeup was. It was up and a little bit out over the plate. And if you don't make a hitter like Lynn conscious of the inside pitch, he's strong enough just to go out there and hook it, which is exactly what he did there.
So here's the catcher, Chris Iannetta. Straley's got some work to do. First pitch to Iannetta, grounded foul.
Iannetta's been around a little bit. I can remember him, I believe, with the Rockies back early in his career. Caught a little bit for Mike Scioscia over in the Angels organization. If you catch for Mike Scioscia,
I was just going to say,
you better be a pretty good catcher.
Well, Iannetta and Steve Clevenger, both catchers, are both new to the Mariners this year. In fact, they have a ton of new players. As Jerry Dipoto took over this club and kept 8 holdovers from a year ago and retooled the entire roster.
What's amazing about the 2 catchers that you mentioned, Mike Zunino was very high draft pick for this club, came to the big leagues very early, didn't really get to develop as a hitter, outstanding defensive catcher, but he is now in AAA trying to hone his offensive craft, trying to get back here.
2-2 the count to Iannetta. In addition to playing for the Angels, also spent 4 years with Colorado. Make that 5 years with Colorado.
When he was with Colorado, he caught a little bit, played at third base some.
Turned 33 on April 8th. Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss. Big out for Straley right there.
Fastball, started it off the plate. It stayed right on the outside edge. 4-seam fastball, came back just a little bit, but Iannetta swings right through it. And normally you'd say, all right, first and third, you get that big strikeout. Now you got a chance for a double play. Not with Leonys Martin. He can flat out fly.
Martin just a .214 hitter so far. Look at the home runs. 7 home runs. He's in the 8th spot tonight. Swing and a miss on the first pitch. He can flat out fly. He's got 7 stolen bases so far on the year. 4 doubles.
I think if you're Dan Straley right here, you got to be thinking strikeout.
Pitcher on deck. Straley ahead 0-2.
I guess Iwakuma, standing in the on-deck circle, is looking at that bat saying, so this is what a bat is.
Anyone got any batting gloves I can borrow? Down in the dirt. Runner's going to move on to second base.
Watch this changeup, and it has some phenomenal action. If that ball stays right in front of Barnhart, he nails Lynn easily at second. But that's that changeup, Grit, we were talking about with Dan Straley. It is very unique, very different, but the ball comes out and has some kind of funny action, never consistent.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second and third. 1 down. Reds with a 1-0 lead. And the 2-2 pitch. Do it again.
You can almost see Dan Straley's wheels spinning in his head. All right, 2-2. He's starting to go for the change. I can't throw him 3 in a row. I'm going to get a fastball up, change the eye level, speed the bat up, and then go back down maybe with a changeup.
And we're full. 3-2.
Came back with a changeup, but he didn't entice Martin to swing. If you're going to get a guy to swing at a breaking ball or a changeup, you've got to start it on the plate where it looks like a pitch that's hittable, and then get it off the plate. That ball never got in the strike zone.
See what Straley's got on a 3-2 pitch. Changeup. 17.5 pitches per inning as a starter. As 10th most among National League pitchers. Minimum 6 starts. And he's talked about going deeper in the game. He knows he's got to get deeper in the game.
And he does. And what you're doing for Straley is when there's nobody on, you try to get quick contact, induce weak contact quickly. But once you've got runners on the base paths, you've got to go into defense mode. You've got to make a pitch.
Inside, walked him. So the base is loaded for Hisashi Iwakuma. Second walk of the inning for Straley. And we talked about it. This Mariners club, they will get that pitch count up on the starters. They will work the count and work it deep. And so far, Straley's about to throw pitch number 40, and we're in inning 2. What's it like as a pitcher when you don't hit very often, and now you're called upon to not only hit, but the bases are loaded?
Well, if you're a young pitcher, you're thinking, I can't wait to get up there and just smash this ball. If you're a veteran pitcher, you're thinking, I don't want to get jammed and hurt my hand. Because once you've been around for a little bit and you've swung the bat and you know what it feels like to get jammed or hit it off the end of the bat, all of that youthful enthusiasm wanes a little bit because you know you get paid to pitch, not to hit.
Swing and a miss. Well, John Lamb just experienced that recently. All gung-ho to hit, and maybe now has a different idea after getting jammed and injuring his thumb.
I can remember Roger Craig telling me real quick, I hit a ground ball to the shortstop. I was sprinting down the first baseline. He hands me my baseball card and he says, where on here does it say what you hit? just kind of looked out. I really didn't know where he was going. He goes, "We're not paying you to sprint down the first baseline or to hit. We're paying you to get people out."
Down goes Iwakuma and 2 outs in the inning. So Straley trying to work himself out of trouble here and is 2/3 of the way there.
Got Marte the first time up, and he got him with that changeup. Look at the grip. Almost a split finger looking grip, but it's actually not. It is an okay changeup where you have the circle change. Straley just grips it in between the index finger and the middle finger and comes across the ball, and that's why you get such great action when the ball gets to the plate. And he'll tell you, I just throw it for the middle. Sometimes it darts down and away. Sometimes it cuts in. Sometimes it just stays right there. But with great arm speed, you have a tendency more times than not to fool the hitter.
Straley had 0-2 on Ketel Marte. As you saw, Marte struck out to lead this game. Straley would love that outcome again. Bases loaded, 2 down.
Well, you've got 2 pitches right here to really work for a changeup, and you've got to make sure that you make one of those pitches here in the next 2.
Ground ball to third. Suarez taps the bag, and nice job, Dan Straley. That's up 1-0. Tonight's game, Joe Sanzone from North Bend, Ohio, will win this beautiful new Tundra on display here at Great American Ballpark. You can register for your chance to win at an upcoming game by seeing your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. 1-0 Reds, bottom of the second. First of 3 with the Mariners. Eugenio Suarez. Lead off for Cincinnati, takes a ball up high. 26 runs driven in from Suarez. Through a little mini slump. Heated back up of late. Although that Indians club pulled a lot of the Reds hitters down, but a couple nights ago, 3-run home run off the bat of Suarez. Last night had an infield hit. 4 trips to the plate.
Well, you would think the way that Iwakuma throws the ball, and we were talking about this earlier, that he really likes to pitch right-handers away the majority of the time. It would play right into the swing of Suarez. That's where he likes the ball, out over the plate. You can watch Iwakuma Very short step back, a pause, and then that leg kick. And a lot of times that pause makes you move forward a little bit as a hitter to get your timing if you haven't seen him. And that leg kick can divert your eyesight. Most hitters like to look just to the right ear of the arm side of a pitcher to try to pick the ball up as soon as possible. But you see that leg kick, and sometimes it can take your eyes away from your target area that you're looking for.
2-2 pitch. Can you teach deception to a pitcher, or does it have to come natural in your delivery?
I think that you can to a certain extent, but I don't know that you can teach a pitcher to pause once they get to this level like Iwakuma does here. I think Iwakuma grew up throwing the ball like this. I think this is how he pitched when he was younger.
Well, you know the old saying, hitting is timing, pitching is disrupting that timing.
Now, I think when you speak of a guy like Johnny Cueto, I think he taught himself that. But you still have to be comfortable and be able to throw strikes with that kind of motion.
Questionable call right there, according to Suarez. But home plate umpire Tom Hallion rings him up.
Good fastball, down and away. Tom Hallion says it came back to the plate. Eugenio Suarez says, I don't think so.
Tom Hallion behind the plate. Tony Randazzo, first base umpire. Dan Bellino at second. Adam Hamari at third. First at bat for Adam Duvall.
And I think when you have Tom Hallion, and there are many other umpires that are this way, if they have a little bit more generous strike zone as a hitter or a pitcher, you better know that coming into the ball game. And we do all the scouting reports on the pitchers' tendencies, on the hitters' tendencies. Well, if you don't know what the umpire is going to call, you can say, well, he's going to call balls and strikes. Well, you're fooling yourself. You better know exactly what kind of leeway he's going to give you away or in.
Seattle had the shift on, and Adam Duvall hit it right through it. Three infielders on the left side. No one on the right side except for the first baseman, and Duvall took advantage of it.
This is the part of Duvall's game that he has really made an adjustment on. In years past, that is a ball that Duvall would try to slam out of the right center field ballpark. But right now he's staying on top of the ball, and he's taking the hits where they're giving them to him. You play those infielders all the way around and you pitch me away, I'm going to hit it right through the right side.
And we've also seen him be a dead pull hitter, and will take an outside pitch and ground out to the left side. He was one of those guys in spring training that caught your eye immediately. This guy has worked hard in the offseason.
Shorter swing, getting inside the ball much more, but still he's such a big, strong kid. When he barrels up the ball, he sends it flying.
That hit for Duvall snaps an 0 for 11 skid. That's Tucker Barnhart. Working against Iwakuma. One down here in the bottom of the second. 1-1. Tucker squares around.
Yeah,
not only pull the bat back, but get himself out of the way.
I think ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, as you see this ball run way in on Tucker Barnhart, in the grand scheme of things, the Reds would like to have Suarez and Duvall hitting up in the middle of the order as the years go on. But the reason that they're hitting 6th and 7th now is to get some consistency here, be comfortable and confident at this level, and then you can start to slide guys up. You come out and you have a good month and you're hitting in the 7th spot, and all of a sudden they throw you in the number 4 spot, then you think, all right, well, now I got to hit home runs, and then you get out of what you do best. And I think at this level, you've got to create some confidence and some mental stability to go along with the physical tools.
2-2 pitch to Barnhart. And who knows what's going to happen in the future of Jay Bruce. Still rumors out there that the Reds will move him, and it's well documented that the Reds had a couple of trades in place, fell apart. The Reds retooling this organization. 2-2 again. Outside. And like you said, Cowboy, in the future, if there's no Phillips there, if there's no Bruce there, you are going to see the Suarez, the Duvalls in those primetime RBI spots. Three-two. In the air to center. Looked pretty well. But Martin there for the second out. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you have come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Pitcher Dan Straley with 2 down and a runner at first. Straley trying to join Brandon Finnegan in the not-so-hit parade for Reds pitchers this year. Outside of Finnegan, it's been a struggle. Got a piece.
Well, there's some pitchers, once they reach the high school level, they don't hit anymore. And all of a sudden they go through the minor leagues, especially with a kid that comes through an American League system. And Finnegan came through an American League system. He can still hit.
Oh, when he was traded, man, he was chomping at the bit. That's one of the first things he said. I'm looking forward to hitting. Now, Lamb said the same thing, but that's the difference of 2 completely different hitters at the plate. Finnegan can hit. He can swing it. 1-2 pitch. Hanging tough.
Yeah, I think all of us pitchers think we can hit until they throw that 92-mile-an-hour cutter right on your hand. Or they throw you a sinker that you hit off the end of the bat. Your fingers are buzzing well into midnight.
Comes the 1-2 again. Swing and a miss. We're through 2. 1-0 Reds.
It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Top of the third inning, 1-0. The Reds lead it over the Seattle Mariners. I'm Jeff Pecora, and the Reds finally got some good news on the pitching front today. Today, Anthony DeSclafani this afternoon pitched. That's right, he actually three innings, and basically he faced about 7 batters. He hit 15 pitches, took a break, 15 more, took a break, 15 more. So 45 pitches in all. He says, look, I've got no problems at all with my side. I wasn't even thinking about it. All I was thinking about, guys, was my mechanics. Looks as though he will next go out, if everything's okay, tomorrow, and probably get 3 rehab starts before he rejoins the team. So keep your fingers crossed. Anthony DeSclafani might be back within a month.
Well, the Reds certainly need him. There's no question about that. They need Homer Bailey. They need these starters to get healthy. They need Iglesias back. Everyone wants to talk about the bullpen, but it starts with the starters going deeper in games. When a bullpen is overworked, look out. That has been the biggest problem for the Reds. Sure, they might not have the most talent down there in that bullpen, but when you're pitching 4 out of 5 nights, you're pitching multiple innings, that's when you run into trouble. Dan Straley, his 3rd inning of work, facing Seth Smith.
I think when you look at any bullpen in the big leagues, whether it be the Reds or whether it be the Mariners, Dodgers, I don't care who it is, the guys that are your 7th guy, 8th guy, those are guys that are usually pitching when you're behind in the ball game.
Yep.
If you're having to use those guys in the 4th and the 5th inning, and then use your setup guys on a regular basis, even in ball games when you're not winning, that just doesn't provide a great flow for your bullpen. And you're right, it all starts with the guys that start the ball game. When they're pitching 6 and 7 innings every night, well, you get to your setup man, then you get to your closer.
Three balls, 2 strikes to count to Seth Smith. Ground ball to Phillips, playing in short right field as the Reds have the shift on. Smith, 1 down. Let's check out our IGS bringing the energy. Look at these second basemen since 2006 in their ranks. Games first, hits first, RBIs first, home runs. Canoa's first and Phillips 3rd in that category. 2 of the best in the biz. Second base in this series.
And they both play some pretty good defense as well.
Indeed they do. Cano grounded out to second. His counterpart in the 1st. League leading, MLB leading, 36 runs driven in. And as a second baseman, leading the majors in a full season from second base. Last time it happened, 1925, Rogers Hornsby.
He was pretty good.
He was pretty good. And I've heard his baseball card is worth a few bucks.
Couple.
But that's a long time. And that's based obviously on their primary career position.
Well, second base is just not known as an offensive position. And years ago, shortstop was the same way. Shortstop and second base, and really center field for that matter, were always defensive positions. And if you got offense, well, it was just a bonus. Years ago, your offense came from your corner outfielders and your corner infielders. And if you had a catcher that could call a ball game and still hit the baseball, that was a benefit.
Ground ball to Votto. Takes it himself. 2 down. so far. Australia doing a good job at the middle of this order, because this 3-4-5 action of the Mariners, talking about Cano, this guy Nelson Cruz, and Kyle Seager, have certainly heated up in May. They have combined to hit 362, 34 runs scored, 18 doubles, 2 triples, 11 home runs, and 36 runs driven in between them in the month of May. And there's a lot of the month of May left.
And I think for those 3 guys, Cano, Cruz, and Seager, their concentration level, the adrenaline level goes up when there's runners on the base paths or in scoring position. You keep guys off in front of them, it makes things a little bit different, and it gives you some freedom to do some things on the mound.
Australia ahead 0-2 on Cruz. Try to get him to chase one.
And let's think about this. Nelson Cruz is at the plate. You have runners at second and third. You can't just rear back and throw a first pitch fastball that's middle away to get ahead in the count, because if he's looking to swing first pitch, you have a chance for a 3-run homer. So you have to be much more careful. So you're pitching on the very edges of the plate with runners on base, whereas he got ahead of Cruz very quickly, 0-2, and now it's slider time, and he may see another slider here.
2-2 pitch. Ring him up. You called it.
That's the slider.
The slider. 1-2-3 third for Straley. Reds on top. You can stream them live on your mobile device with the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app and take Fox Sports Ohio and Reds baseball with you wherever you go. Hisashi Iwakuma climbs the hill for his 3rd inning of work. And back to the top of the order for the Reds with Zach Cozart. Cozart grounded out to short in the 1st. An average sitting at 325. Hit very well to center. And looking up and gone. Number 5 for Zach, and the Reds lead 2-0.
You look at what Zach Cozart is doing this year, and you think to yourself, what would his year have looked like last year if he had not hurt his knee? And I'm sure there are some other folks saying, well, maybe he should have hurt his knee earlier, because he is squaring up seemingly every pitch that comes to the plate when he takes a hack.
You know, that's one thing a lot of people forget is the start he was off to last year before he hurt that knee. Called straight home game with a home run for the Reds. Hamilton skies one towards center. Martin has it. 1 out. And Cozart's knee is not 100%.
No,
he's not even there yet with that.
And I don't know that it will be the entire year. But I know that he put the work in. And the thing that I guess the best compliment that you can give Zach right now is you wouldn't know that he had knee surgery by watching him play.
Votto rips the first pitch, but Lynn has him played right on the line. 2 outs.
Weight back, head down. That is the thing that when you watch great hitters put the ball in play with regularity, it's almost as if their eyes follow the ball all the way to the bat and then off the bat. It's not possible to do that physically, but that's what it looks like.
Right. So with 2 down, here's Phillips. Phillips owns the other RBI in this game. RBI double in the first.
It's one thing about baseball, probably more so than any other sport. You have to go backwards to get acceleration forwards. You'd have to do it on the mound. You have to rock back then to the plate to do the same thing at the plate.
Martin has this one as well, but not before Zach Cozart goes yard. The Reds have a 2-0 lead. Zach Cozart solo home run. The Reds extend their lead to 2-0. Kyle Seager to lead off the 4th for Seattle. Seager walked in the 2nd, but was stranded. Straley had the bases loaded, but got out of the jam. 0-1 pitch. Clean single to center. Good start for the Mariners here in the 4th.
But the Reds had Cozart in the right spot. Seager just hit a line drive over his head. Watch this ball come off the bat. You'll pick up Cozart. Ball goes right over the top of his head into center field. You can shift all you want, but you hit the ball on the nose more times than not, you got a chance.
Cozart again playing up the middle against Adam Lynn. Lynn singled back in the second. Talked about Lynn tearing up the Reds Brewers last year. Dating back to April 15th of last year. He's reached base safely in 16 of his last 17 games versus the Reds. And that would be a .436 clip over that time. In fact, add a little to that because he singled his first time up, but not this time. Hamilton calls off Duvall. Wow. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to a Miller time moment later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. One down and a runner at first. Here's Chris Iannetta.
Got to throw out a happy birthday wish to Sophie Healy. She is celebrating her 9th birthday here at the ballpark. She is the daughter of the Reds CFO Doug Healy. They have got a boatload of folks over in the box tonight.
Dougie's got his hands full tonight from what I hear.
He got his hands full, all right.
How many youngsters they have down there?
I think 14 youngins. They were on the big board earlier, and you could see those girls screaming. That's what it's all about coming to the park.
No question. Happy birthday. Ron, congratulations here. How about Bob Castellini and Susie Castellini? Bob Castellini, the CEO for Cincinnati Reds, 50th anniversary. That would be 5-0.
It's a pretty good anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Bob and Susie. That is tremendous. 50 years together, and as your partner Marty likes to say, ain't love grand.
Yeah. Now all that's left to do is to put a W on the board here tonight.
You know what? That would probably be, if you ask Bob what he wants for his 50th anniversary gift, he'd say a win tonight. So far, so good. I just can't imagine someone putting up with me for 50 years.
Me.
I guess my mom has had to put up with me for 50 years so far.
Yeah, but not up close and personal.
That's true. 2-2 pitch ripped right at Cozart. Got to play it first. Double play.
Solid.
Hit them where they are. Book your next group outing in the Front Gate Outdoor Luxury Suite here at Great American. Suite features an all-inclusive food and beverage package, flat panel TVs, and luxury furnishings. Host your next group outing by calling the Reds Group Sales Department, 513-765-7600, or visit reds.com/groups. That's a big league part of the ballpark. Originally the Gap first opened this ballpark. Then the Castellini ownership group took over this ballpark, and man, have they dressed it up, including the front gate area. Lynn takes it himself, one out. And I was here when this park opened, and I tell you what, we've talked about it so many times, but the money that they've put into this, and it's not the Hamilton County's money. This is the ownership group's money. To dress this place up and add everything they have done a fantastic job. And really an underrated park.
And it's not just on the levels that are down by the field, up in the Phi Optics. That's up high. You look down on some of the storefronts that are along the first base side. They don't really look like concession stands. They look like stores. I mean, it looks like you're going shopping.
Not many areas of the ballpark left to fill in. And Phil Castellini, the COO of the Reds, has really done a good job of just taking areas that were otherwise unused and making something out of them. Let's face it, in today's day and age, some people like to come to the ballpark just to socialize. Game might be secondary, and there's areas of the ballpark for that as well, including that Phi Optics district that you were talking about. You want to talk about some impressive big screen HD TVs. Go up to that Phi Optics area. Suarez draws a one-out walk on 4 pitches.
You know, you and I could go up to the Phi Optics area. I could school you in some ping pong while we watch the Reds school the opponent.
You big ping pong player?
Nah, I'm not. I mean, you got ping pong. You got a pool table here at the ballpark. I mean, I've actually even done some fishing here at the ballpark. There you go.
I was out there when you were fishing out there.
So
you caught, what did you catch, a bluegill that night?
I caught a few things.
Here's Duvall. Rips it into left. Base hit. Suarez stops at second. So the Reds 2 on, 1 down. Second hit of the night for Duvall.
Now we saw Duvall go the other way his first time up. This ball is up and out over the plate, and he hammers it.
That's just a nice looking swing.
It is, and you don't see the back shoulder drop and the front shoulder fly out like you did at the end of last year. Otherwise, that's just a pop up high into the outfield. That was a bullet.
So a 2 on, Tucker Barnhart flew out in the second. Switch hitter hitting from the left side. Sashi Iwakuma trying to keep it at a 2-run deficit. Iwakuma, since joining the Mariners rotation July 2nd, 2012, is a 3.18 ERA as a starter. That's 4th best in the American League, and you don't hear much about him as being one of the top pitchers in the league. Also has a no-hitter to his credit. Last year. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball just past Cano. Hatcher's going to wave around Suarez. He'll score easily. 3-0 Reds.
back-to-back at-bats where the Reds beat the shift. Duvall hit it over the shift. Barnhart hits it right through the shift in between Lynn and Robinson Cano.
Seeing eye single. Reds catcher will take it. And still some work to do for Iwakuma.
I'm sure that the Mariners are not used to playing bunt defense in the American League. They play for the 3-run homer over there. And in this league, right now, Dan Straley more than likely will be putting down a bunt to try to move the runners along for Zach Kozar. You want to bunt the ball right at the third baseman.
Squares around. Bunted foul. And was certainly not bunted towards the third baseman.
Well, you look at Adam Lynn in that situation. He did not charge aggressively as most National League first basemen do. Most National League first basemen are right on top of you in this situation because they're trying to get that lead runner at third base. Adam Lynn, he was just kind of milling around over there at first base, didn't come in aggressively at all. So even if you get the bunt down towards first base in this situation, you're probably going to have a success moving the runners up.
Straley will try it again. This time gets it down. Well placed bunt. Lynn tags him out. The Reds have runners at second and third. In support of May as Mental Health Month, Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with the NAMI, the National Alliance of Mental Illness, and their commitment to improving the lives of families and those affected by mental health conditions. More? You can learn how to be stigma-free. Visit foxsportsupports.com. They will intentionally walk Zach Kozar to load up the bases for Billy Hamilton. Fans don't like it, of course, but smart thing to do. A force out at every base with 2 down. And of course, Kozar swinging a hot bat. So 3 of them out there for Billy. Talked about that no-hitter for Iwakuma. It was the 5th no-hitter in Mariners history. August 12th of last year versus the Baltimore Orioles. So this guy you could call one of the most underrated pitchers in all of baseball. You just don't hear his name mentioned much. Of course, Seattle deals with that a lot. They fly under the radar in lots of things just because of their proximity. Playing late games when they're at home, at least when you're in the Eastern time zone.
I think that's just a product of playing on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're playing for the Dodgers, you just don't hear the name prominence as much as you would if the guys are playing in New York. And I think it has to do with game times and the ability to watch those games throughout the country.
Ground ball foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. The count to the Red center fielder.
I mean, I know that right now Mike Trout gets a lot of credit for being a great ball player.
Yep.
But can you imagine if he was in a Yankee or a Met uniform or a Nationals uniform?
Well, the way the Angels,
he would have 2 MVPs already.
Right.
I'll tell you that.
The way the Angels are going, he might end up in another uniform. They're talking about it.
It'd be crazy to trade him.
I agree. 1-1 pitch. Tell you what, Tom Hallion is calling that outside strike tonight.
Like I said earlier, that's the part that you have to know, both as a pitcher and a hitter. What is that umpire going to give me, or is he going to give me anything at all?
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. Into center field. But Martin has it. Reds strand 3. But lead 3-0. By your local Ford dealer. Ford, go further. And by Cincinnati Children's, ranking 3rd in the country on U.S. News Best Children's Hospitals. And as my compadre Tom Brenneman likes to give a shout out, we hope everyone at Cincinnati Children's is having as good a day as you could possibly have. Hope you have a better day tomorrow. Dan Straley's been solid so far for the Reds. 4 innings of scoreless baseball. And he'll do battle with Leonis Martin. 8-hole hitter for the Mariners. Walked back in the 2nd. 14 average, but can fly. One. 2-1.
Even with the 7 home runs, you got to make Martin swing the bat. 214 batteries leading off the inning. Get the pitcher on deck. Last thing you want to do is allow him to get aboard and start something moving momentum wise for this Mariner ball club.
Two. Out of play. The Reds trying to cool off this Mariners club, coming off of taking 2 out of 3 against the Baltimore Orioles. And again, just joining us, they've been unbelievable on the road. 15-7 road record. 6-0-1 in road series. Scott Service in his first year, not only as a big league skipper, I think it opened up a lot of eyes when they hired Scott Service. And this is not the Scott Service that used to play for the Reds, but he has never managed at any level. Not professional baseball, amateur baseball. He's never done it.
But he has been around it his entire life.
Yep.
I remember him being the backup catcher in Houston with some of those awfully good ball clubs.
Well, Jerry Dipoto is the new GM for Seattle, and they certainly have a connection. Known each other a long time. As he walks Martin, which is not what you're looking for when you're facing the guy hitting 8th.
That is the second leadoff walk for Dan Straley. He walked Kyle Seager to lead off the second inning.
How much bunting practice do you think Iwakuma gets?
Probably got a lot yesterday. That would probably be about it.
Going to square around here. Fouls it off.
This is one of those situations for an American League pitcher. If you charge as the Reds did there, you can put a lot of pressure on Iwakuma to try to make a perfect bunt. May end up popping it up, or he may just bunt right through the baseball. Only problem for Votto is you can't leave too early with the speed of Martin. Brandon Phillips trying to swoop in behind Martin. Watch this.
Pulls it back. Called strike. 2 career sacrifices in the career of Iwakuma, so he's done it before. See if Straley makes it tough on him here, or they'll even square him around. They will with 2 strikes. Gets it down, and a nice one. He plays to first, so Iwakuma gets the job done. Be a part of Super Saturdays this season at the ballpark for as low as $12. Tomorrow, the first 25,000 fans will receive that very nice looking Ken Griffey Jr. dual bobblehead, thanks to St. Elizabeth Healthcare. Tickets, call 513-381-REDS or visit reds.com. With 1 down and a runner at second base. 3rd at bat for Ketel Marte. Back to the top of the order for the Mariners. Way outside.
You know, that situation with Iwakuma at the plate, trying to bunt with 2 strikes. You've got him 0-2 as a pitcher. To me, that gives you 1 pitch to say, all right, I'm going to throw a fastball up above his hands and see if he'll bunt at it and pop it up. That way you've got a chance to keep the runner at first base. Because that 0-2 pitch that he bunted was right down Broadway.
Now, I've never understood that. Why you would send it right down Broadway, as you like to say. Hold on, let me see it. Right down Broadway.
Well, I'll take the out early in the count, but if I've got you in a position that I can put you away with 1 pitch, and now that I'm 0-2, you've got 1 pitch to do that. I don't want to waste any other ones. But if I've got an 0-2 pitch, I'm going to go up in the strike zone, closer to you, and see if I can get you to bunt it. You know, as a pitcher that's trying to bunt, you got 1 pitch left. You better get this one down.
Count remains 1-2 on Ketel Marte.
For most guys that are in a sacrifice bunting situation, you just want to get the thing down and get the at bat over with. The last thing that you want to do is be in a 2-strike situation in a must bunt.
Straley serving him up and Marte fouling him off. Do the 1-2 again. Another foul ball.
Now that was a changeup on the inside corner. And you could see Marte, hips open, hands really coming through. He hit that ball right off the end of the bat. Almost got to it too soon.
Pitch count getting up there for Straley. About to throw his 89th pitch. We're in inning 5. In the air to right. Bruce has it, and Martin will certainly not test the arm of Jay Bruce. 2 down. The Phioptics Gigabar. There it is. Looking nice. That's only part of it. There's 2 levels of that. And for, I believe it's a $15 ticket, you get a seat. The first beer's on the Reds. So nowadays, that's like $8, $9 value right there.
They've also got those virtual reality booths up there that you can pretend you're on a roller coaster. I mean, it's pretty sweet now.
Seth Smith. Brandon Phillips playing in short right field. So Straley is through 5. Scoreless baseball.
All the info you need for that day's game with Reds Live on Fox Sports Ohio. Reds Live is presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing. And tomorrow we'll take a look at the King Felix. Felix Hernandez goes to the mound to take on John Lamb. It should be a very interesting matchup. Gentlemen, back upstairs to you.
I'm looking forward to seeing King Felix. And I'm also looking forward to Lamb getting back on the beam, because that was a rough one in Cleveland. And after the game, he simply said, I just couldn't stop it. It's one of those nights where he just could not stop the train rolling.
Well, he had to take a few extra days, did Lamb, because of that thumb injury. And a lot of times those extra days, you think that they help your arm, but being too strong is almost as bad as not being strong enough. And it's tough to control your arm when you're feeling that good.
Otto shoots one into left, but an easy fly ball for Smith. 1 out. There's another look at it's another area of that Phioptics Gigabyte area. And
see that ping pong table back there in the background?
That's where you would work me over?
That's where I would be taking you to school.
I haven't played ping pong in a long time. You know, as a ping pong.
I'll teach you.
You will?
Yeah.
You know, as a ping pong table, it's Mariners do in their clubhouse.
Maybe I should go. Well, we don't go there.
They say that this Mariners clubhouse this year is like a fraternity house. They got a pool table, ping pong table. Wade Miley went out and bought a basketball hoop. It's at one end. He bought it off of Amazon, apparently. And they're having a good old time. They've got a good mix. Phillips sends it into right. Cruz there.
I think with the right mix.
5 pitches and 2 outs.
I think with the right mix of players, those types of elements that you're talking about, the pool table, the ping pong table, the basketball goal, they can really promote camaraderie, especially for young players feeling comfortable in a big league clubhouse. But if you've got the wrong mix, it can give you a major disconnect.
Well, Wade Miley says, and he's been around, he says this is the most fun he's ever had. Obviously, we're early in the season. They're having success. It could change in a hurry in Major League Baseball. But this is the most fun he's ever had.
That's what you want. You want everybody pulling from the same end of the rope. And I know that's a cliche saying, but it is as evident to me as anything when everybody is going after the same goal, and that's winning every ball game.
Big shift on Bruce. In fact, not only are 3 playing on the right side, where the third baseman is playing. Jay's done a good job of hitting the ball the other way more this year, and we've seen him beat that shift before. See if Iwakuma pitches into that shift. Big cut.
Yeah, I think that's evidenced by the batting average of Bruce, 281 coming into tonight. Because his average the last couple of years has been really down, and he's hit a lot of balls hard, but they've been right at the second baseman or the shortstop playing on the second base side.
Iwakuma wins the battle here. 1, 2, 3, 5th, but the Reds still lead. The Reds got on the board in the first following a Votto walk. Phillips off the wall. It was a double. Iannetta couldn't come up with the throw. 1-0 Cincinnati. In the third, Kozar blasts his 5th of the season, a solo shot. And then in the fourth, Reds strung some hits together, and Tucker Barnhart did the job, scoring Suarez. And that's where we stand. Dan Straley, 5 innings of scoreless baseball, has given up 3 hits. Mariners have left 5 on. The Reds have left 5 on.
Now the third time through this heart of the order, Cano, Cruz, and Seager for the right-hander Straley. Can he do it one more time?
Talked about Straley, 17.5 pitches per inning as a starter. And tonight, right on that pace pretty much. About to throw his 93rd pitch. Big cut by Cano.
$18 pitches too many. 17.5 too many. If you're averaging 15, you're on the very high side of pitches per inning.
1-2 pitch, got him. Hit him on the backside.
Just pulled that one a little bit too far, and it caught that elbow pad on the front arm of Robinson Cano. That was supposed to be a setup pitch for a changeup on the next pitch. But when you come in like that, you're thinking the ball's going to run back, and that one he just pulled it too far in off the plate.
So the heart of the order continues with Nelson Cruz, first pitch swinging out of play. Cruz 0 for 2 so far in this game. Flew out to right in the first, struck out in the third. Seven runs driven in on the season.
Australia can execute a breaking ball down and away from Cruz. Got a chance at a double play. Cruz does not run well.
Inside.
You're starting to see the ball elevated from Straley, and you're starting to see him miss all the way across the plate. That ball was supposed to be away, and he missed up and in.
1-1. 1-2.
Stayed on top of that one, but even that pitch crept back over the middle part of the plate.
That was an ouchie. That Barnhart right on the mask. Not much of a lead for Cano at first. He has yet to even attempt a stolen base this year. Bring him up. Slider. Big pitch right here.
We saw the location of the fastball away, and he comes back with a slider. He starts it on the outside corner, but watch this pitch. Instead of breaking off the plate away, it breaks down, and it fools Cruz. A lot of sliders start on the plate and then really have that depth going away from the hitter. That one stayed on the outside corner and just had a little bit of downward movement.
Third of the way there. There's Kyle Seager. Walked, singled. And after he singled in the fourth, he was doubled up. A line drive that Iannetta hit to Cozart. Australia about to hit the century mark in pitches. This will most certainly be his final inning of work. Two and 0. Deep, but foul.
I think when you're watching a catcher set up, knowing where the bottom of the strike zone is and where a pitcher is needing to get the ball to, look at the catcher's shin guards, the knee part, as you see that ball down and in. That's not a place you want to go with a lefty. That ball actually wasn't even down. But you want to get the ball to where the knee pads are, the shin guards on the catcher. If you can stay right there, you see where Barnhart is, where those flaps come over the top. You want to get right at the bottom of those flaps. That is a quality pitch down in the zone. When that ball is above that, that's a danger zone.
A mid-at-bat shift here for the Reds on Seager, as Eugenio Suarez, before that pitch, headed on over and will play between Votto and Phillips. Cozart, the only one on the left side. We're seeing that a lot more mid-at-bat, depending on the count. I mean, they've got it down to the count of where guys pitch balls. Past Votto, that's trouble. That'll ring around in the corner. They're going to wave around the runner, and he will score easily. And the Mariners are on the board. Cano scores all the way from first as Seager delivers the RBI double.
Ball starts to creep up in the zone. You see where that pitch is. Anytime the catcher has to reach up, that's a problem. And that ball was hammered.
Here comes Mark Riggins, the pitching coach. J.C. Ramirez is up in the Reds bullpen, and this is most certainly not only settle Straley down, but give Ramirez a few extra moments to get that right arm cranked up. Well, we have a moment. How about Pensacola, the Double-A team for the Reds? Game 2 of a doubleheader. A no-hitter, a combined no-hitter tonight. Jackson Stevens, Matt McGill, Carlos Gonzalez combine on the 7-inning no-hitter, because they play 7 innings in a doubleheader at the minor league level.
Jackson Stevens from Oxford, Mississippi. He's been coming just incrementally over a period of time.
You like those Mississippi guys?
Yeah, I do. I like him, and I like Cody Reed. I'd like to see him up here.
Well, we've all been waiting for that call. All right, Adam Lynn steps in. Runner in scoring position. 3-1 ball game now.
Yeah, I really don't care where you're from. I just want you to take the ball on the mound and believe that you're better than the guy at the plate and compete with a little bit of tenacity. That's what I want.
I'm with you. Bring in a pitcher from Mars for all we care. Throw strikes.
You can kick it up there.
Brian Price would adhere to that policy as well. One pitch. Swing and a miss. Lynn 1 for 2 in this game.
Pretty good breaking ball there from Dan Straley. And when you see a guy that's thrown a slider the entire game and all of a sudden the slider starts to look like a curveball, you can tell that the fatigue is setting in. He really got around that pitch, even though he got the swing and miss.
In the air, left center field. Hamilton giving chase. Billy catches it. What a catch, Billy Hamilton. Dan Straley says thank you very much.
And Adam Lynn says, you got to be kidding me. I mean, Hamilton on his horse. You didn't really know, even with the speed of Hamilton, he was playing on the right field side of second base, still able to get to that ball.
You know, everyone talks about obviously wanting Billy Hamilton to find his way at the plate, but you cannot talk enough about how important it is to have defense up the middle. And as much ground as he covers in center field, he is outstanding defensively. And an underrated arm. They moved him from shortstop to center field. I think it took the league a little bit of time to learn. He is not the biggest guy in the world, but he's got a good arm.
And there may be some guys out there that are as good as Hamilton, or maybe put themselves in a position to be as good. But when you talk about speed and range and getting to balls that are hit on the nose as that ball was, I don't know that there is anybody in the game better than Billy Hamilton in center field.
Hold the string right there. 0-2. Nice seat right there.
I don't know that there's a bad seat in this ballpark.
I don't think there is.
I've walked around, been in the upper deck. And some pretty good views.
Ground ball to short. Kozar's got it. Billy Hamilton saves a run and maybe more. Mariners get a run. The Reds still lead. Hamilton. Thank you very much. At this point, perhaps a game-saving catch. If he doesn't run down that ball, it's a one-run game, one out, and a runner still at second base. It's a whole different ball.
Look, when you make a crummy pitch as a pitcher, you know that the ball is scalded. You're already heading to back up third, and all of a sudden, Superman comes out of center field as Hamilton did, and you think, oh, thank you, Lord.
Will that be a... Oh, baby.
You got that right.
Suarez fouls it back.
That's one of those where you want to eat for dinner on the road trip. I'm buying.
Inside, did he go around? He did. One and two, the count to the Reds' third baseman. Suarez has scored one of 3 runs for the Reds. Lead off, or excuse me, a walk in the 4th. And scored on Tucker Barnhart's single. 1-2 pitch. Went around. Second time Suarez has struck out tonight. Dan Straley's been mixing it up, Cowboy.
He has. He's had it all working, whether it be the changeup or the breaking ball. He's gotten ahead a lot with the fastball, but the money pitches have been the slider and the changeup, as you saw with that montage of pitches there from Dan Straley, and they were all awfully good as he gutted it through 6.
6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. Walked 3 batters and struck out 5. J.C. Ramirez was up earlier for the Reds. Now righty Blake Wood getting loosened up. Ball grounded to third. For the first time tonight, they retire Adam Duvall. 2 outs. Barnhart 1 for 2. Iwakuma trying to get through the 6th. Sitting at 90 pitches now. Deepest he's gone in a game this season, 8.
Yeah, we saw Josh Tomlin in last night's ball game for the Indians. Never threw a pitch above 90. Most of his pitches were 87, 88. But he kept the ball down. He kept the ball out of the middle of the plate. Pitched an awfully good ball game. Now, even though Iwakuma has given up 3 runs here tonight, he's not thrown a pitch above 90 all night. As a matter of fact, most of his velocity has been 85 to 87, but he stayed out of the middle of the plate. When you do that and you change speeds and you can locate with something other than a fastball.
Tucker with the shift on. Nicely done.
That's a beautiful thing.
Sorry to interrupt, Cowboy.
No, that's money right there.
And we are about to see another major league debut right here as we look at the replay, and this is just well done.
Well,
You're going to give it to you, take it.
Yeah, you open up the entire side. They're thinking Barnhart's going to swing. I think they are heading out to the mound just to give a quick scouting report to Iwakuma on Selski.
Steve Selski is about to make his major league debut. Was just called up today from AAA Louisville. There you see his numbers with the bats. He replaced Tim Adelman on the roster as Adelman went to the disabled list with that strained oblique. So in the meantime, with the Reds not needing a starter for 4 more days, added this bat, Steve Selski. 1 on, 2 outs. First pitch strike. Iwakuma about to throw pitch number 94. There is some action in the Mariners bullpen. 0-1 pitch to Selski. Out off. Joel Peralta cranking it up for the Mariners. Big moment for Steve Selski. Oh-2 pitch. Down low.
There's not a position player in either dugout that forgets about this type of at bat. Your first at bat, your first time in the big leagues, and what's going through your head, and you're just trying to see a ball and try to put the bat on it.
Rung up in his first major league at bat. Reds strand a runner, still lead 3-1. T-Mobile. Chris Sale last night, MLB best 9th win of the season. First pitcher since 2008 to win his first 9 starts. Brandon Webb the last to do that. Josh Reddick, fractured thumb, sliding into second base. He was off to a great start. And don't look now, but Bruce Bochy has the Giants rolling. 8 consecutive wins, 7-0 on the road trip. First undefeated road trip of 7+ games since 1913. Mercy.
And it was in their division to boot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a quote from Chris Sale the other day. Really resonated as a starting pitcher with me. He said, if you go out and you throw 5 innings and you throw 90-something pitches and you strike out 12, even if you don't give up any runs, that's really not helping your team. That's exactly what he said. And he's backed off of his fastball. He's not trying to throw everything max effort anymore. Yeah. Now he's pitching 7, 8 innings a start, and he's not losing anything.
Blake Wood comes on to relieve Dan Straley here, facing Leonis Martin. So Straley gives him 6. And now see if the bullpen can get it done tonight. Not the start we're looking for. Base hit, Martin. And that'll bring up pinch hitter Norichika Aoki. The Reds have seen this guy many times as well, the former Brewer.
Aoki normally in the starting lineup every day for this club. And Cruz is usually the one in the designated hitter spot when they're playing in the American League.
The tying run at the plate. So with Aoki batting, that is it for Iwakuma. Those 6 innings, like Straley, 3 earned runs. Struck out 6, gave up a home run through 96 pitches. Kept his team in the game. Oh, 1 pitch to Aoki. Nope, we'll go to first. So Blake Wood has got that arm. He can bring it to the mid to upper 90s. We've seen, like many Reds pitchers, particularly out of that bullpen, commanding the strike zone is the challenge. There goes the runner. And a hit and run to perfection. First and third, nobody out.
Fastball up, out over the plate. Barnhart wanted it down and in, and it was anything but. And that pitch up and out there, that's the easiest pitch to shoot the other way, and Aoki executes it to perfection.
So trouble brewing here, and back to the top of the order, and Ketel Marte. Done the job on Marte so far.
You are always flirting with disaster with any club when you let the 8 and 9 batters get aboard and then you turn the lineup over with nobody out.
Reds have action in their pen right away. Tony Cingrani warming up.
You got 2 left-handers following Marte, Seth Smith and Robinson Cano.
Can Cingrani get loose in time? Or can Wood get the job done? Big sequence in this game. Reds holding on to a 2-run lead. 2 runners on and nobody out. Marte just 22 years old. Switch hitting shortstop. When you have a 22-year-old in the bigs, switch hitter, and he hits at the top of your lineup, you obviously think the future is bright. And so far, so good. You can tell Marte, the Reds would love an 0 for 4 night right here. Wood falls behind 2-0, but evens it up at 2-2. Price, Scott Service looking on. It's been almost a roll of the dice situation for Price in that bullpen. 2-2 pitch. We're full.
And we saw in last night's ball game, Wood came in and pitched the 9th inning, facing 4, 5, and 6 in the Indians' order. It was a 7-2 Reds behind, and he was pounding the strike zone.
Way upstairs, and he lost it. Bases loaded, nobody out.
You have to be able to compete in the strike zone regardless of what the score is. Whether you're winning, whether the game is close, or whether you're way behind. You can't let the score of the ball game dictate your consistency.
And I tell you, talking to Brian Price as much as I have before and after games, much as we all have, I mean, there are times when the bullpen is walking guys where he's just honest about it. He said, hey, we're not pitching at a major league level. This is a Major League Baseball. When you're walking all these guys and you're not commanding the strike zone. And there is nothing more frustrating for not only a manager, but particularly a manager like Brian Price, who was a pitching coach.
Well, part of it comes down to confidence and then execution. But if you don't feel like your stuff is good enough, then you're going to pitch on the edges of the plate and try to make a perfect pitch. And that's just impossible to do consistently.
Seth Smith, bases loaded, nobody out. Lakewood. Single Martin, single Aoki, walk Marte, and in a boatload of trouble. And still can't find the plate.
Well, if you don't get Smith here, you're going from the frying pan to the fire.
2-0. In there for a strike. This Reds bullpen has now walked 89 batters in 153 innings. The closest National League bullpen to the Reds in that category has 68. Upstairs. Far and away the leader in walking batters from your bullpen.
I think it's tough to understand with your adrenaline going that sometimes 90% is better than 110, because we get some guys coming into the ball game that look like they're trying to throw it through the backstop. And you have to understand that location and pitch selection is the key to outs.
Walked in a run. Here comes Brian Price. He has seen enough. One-run game. Price takes the ball. Out goes Wood. And in comes Tony Cingrani. It's our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. Bat and ball set in honor of Play Ball Weekend. See your Reds take on the Mariners for as low as $12. For tickets, 513-381-REDS or visit reds.com. So a bit of a situation here. Reds with a 1-run lead. The Mariners have the bases juiced and still nobody out. And Tony Cingrani on to face, well, I'm not sure there's a bigger task in baseball right now. On to face Robinson Cano. Lefty versus lefty. Robinson Cano has 10 career grand slams. 10 career grand slams, including one this season.
Well, if you're Tony Cingrani, you got to hope that Cano will chase one that's just a bit off the plate. Hit him.
And he hit him with the first pitch, and we are tied up. So Blake Wood gives up a single, walks back-to-back batters, including walking in a run, and now Tony Cingrani hits Cano with the first pitch to bring in another. Whole new ball game, and far from out of the woods here. Nelson Cruz to deal with. Way outside. Got to be a helpless feeling down in that dugout. Can't throw the pitches for him. 2-0 pitch. Hitters count. You get cheated on that cut.
Well, the problem that you have sometimes as a pitcher from a mental standpoint, you're pitching not to get hit rather than pitching to get the batter out. And if you're doing the first one, you're pitching in a negative mental aspect, and it's going to cost you.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Lefty versus righty in a big situation. plate.
The thing about Nelson Cruz, he'll chase that fastball up and out of the strike zone. But now that you've gone 2-2, if you go up there and he doesn't chase it, then you really have to come to him.
Reds had a 3-0 lead. Now staring at a tie ball game. Swing and a miss.
Good pitch.
First out of the inning.
Good fastball right on the outside corner. You see where that pitch is on Fox Tracks. It is right on the outside edge. Tough pitch to get when it's 96 miles an hour.
6th strikeout of the night for Reds pitching. And now Kyle Seager. Light rain falling again here at Great American. Hold the string on the first pitch. Poncho's getting a workout tonight. This game started after a 45-minute rain delay. .346 average with the bases loaded.
Got a chance for a double play here with a lefty batter.
Strike 2.
Of course, if you stay down where those last 2 pitches are, if you're Cingrani, I'm not sure that Seager can catch up to him. It's tough to pick up the ball off Cingrani anyway. And that's why it's so much more important for him to stay down, and when he elevates, it's just a surprise.
Strike 3 call. Big out for Cingrani. Back-to-back strikeouts.
Ball looks like it comes out of the back of Cingrani's hat. And there are times for Tony Cingrani where you see him make pitches and you think, well, that's your closer right there. But the consistency has got to come in the strike zone. Consistency with strikes before that can ever be considered.
It's going to bring up Dae-Ho Lee. Scott Service will send up there to pinch hit. It's a big dude right here. Power hitter for many years in Korea. He can get into one. First pitch strike.
You could see by the first movement of Lee that front foot stepped out towards the third base bag. He's looking for something he can pull. You don't want to give him anything soft. You stay hard down and away.
0-1 into right field. That's going to bring home at least 1. That's going to bring home 2. And the Mariners have rallied and lead by 2.
A late swing, but a fastball on the inside part of the plate.
Served it up for him. And Lee took care of business. So a 4 spot on the board so far for the Mariners. And here's Chris Iannetta, the 9th batter of the inning. And as a former closer, I know this is tough for you to watch.
That's putting it mildly.
1-0 pitch. Nope. He'll go to first. Got him. And a rundown is Lee. Watch that runner coming home now. They're coming home. And out. Heads up play. Zach Kozar. But the Mariners put a 4 spot on the board, lead 5-3. Defenders are still on the field because Scott Service and the Mariners are challenging that last play. And the official ruling is indeed he is out. Umpires going to both benches here, explaining the situation. There you see crew chief Tom Hallion talking to Scott Service. And they were challenging whether or not Barnhart was blocking the plate. He was clearly out before that hand got in there. Cano.
Well, the key is when you have the ball. You can't be totally in front of the plate without the ball. When you get the ball, you can get in front of the plate. And Barnhart had the ball well out in front of the plate. You see where the setup is. He catches the ball, then he steps backwards. That's a legal play.
Textbook right there. Scott Service took a chance to no avail.
And I think our catchers do it textbook. You see when Mesoraco's back there, when Barnhart's back there, and they always set up out in front of the plate. That when they get the ball, that's when they slide back.
And for the record, if you're wondering, Scott Service did not come out to argue that call. Tom Hallion went to the dugout. Scott Service came out to talk to him. It's an automatic ejection if you argue after a review. That was not the case. Here's the home plate collision rule.
Well, the third one there is what we were talking about. The catcher must have possession of the ball to block the pathway of the runner trying to score. You catch the ball out in front of the plate, then you slide that left foot back in order to make the tag. And that's exactly what Tucker Barnhart did. He was never anywhere near the plate until he caught the baseball.
Jeff Piquero downstairs. You have more?
Jim and Jeff, this is really interesting, and Cowboy might know this, but when Tony Cingrani came off the field, he went into the dugout. The umpire came charging after him and said, "You have to get back out on the field." And he said, why? And then Brian Price said, if I talk to him, that's considered a trip to the mound, right? And I said, yes, because we are still in play here. So even though he's on the bench, the manager nor the coaches were allowed to talk to him. So Tony had to go back up the steps and stand over here on the warning track. And Brian Price or Mark Riggins were not allowed to talk to him. If they did, that would be considered a trip to the mound. So one of the umpires stood right there next to Tony to make sure that they didn't. A very interesting conversation there.
Well, normally, if it's not raining as it is right now, the pitchers and the players stand out in front of the dugout. But in this situation, Cingrani trying to get out of the rain, and I'm sure Tony probably didn't realize that if he talked to the coaches, it would be considered a trip. That's all part of the replay rules and what has been instituted over the last few years.
Well, the Mariners have a new arm. It's a lefty. It's Mike Montgomery. 2.08 ERA so far in 14 games. And Dae-Ho Lee stays in to play first base. Lee with that big 2 RBI single in the 7th. So back to the top of the order and Zach Cozart. Cozart router to short. Marte has it. Easy out. Be a part of Super Saturdays this season at the ballpark for as low as $12. Tomorrow, first 25,000 get the Ken Griffey Jr. dual bobblehead thanks to St. Elizabeth Healthcare. 513-381-REDS for tickets, or you can visit reds.com. Here's Billy.
Yeah, I think throughout the minor league development of this left-hander Mike Montgomery, he was always perceived as being a starter, but had a difficult time pitching out of the rotation for the Mariners last year as Hamilton hits this one up the middle.
First pitch swinging. Little Billy ball here. Let's see. With the lefty on the mound, this should be a good chess match. Billy hitting from that right side, which he prefers. It's his natural side.
You watch that replay. Hamilton's back foot slides backwards towards the third base dugout. It's not secure in the ground. That tells you he is way out on his front foot when he makes contact.
Joey Votto. 0 for 2 so far. Walked in the first and scored.
That back foot is supposed to be an anchor.
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be.
But you get it done however you can get it done. Mike Montgomery, 26 years of age. Born in Mission Hills, California. Big guy, 6'5", 215. Mariners got him in a trade with Tampa Bay March of last year. Lefty versus lefty. Votto into left field. Oh, trouble with the wall there. That ball just kept drifting on Smith. Votto will get another chance. Look right up into that rain. Ball just kept slicing. I think the wall won that battle.
It did. Of course, when the rain is pelting you in the eyeballs, you're not real sure if that wall's there or not.
You're right. One and two, the count to Joey Votto. Ground ball. Trouble. Double play. The Mariners erase a base runner. They lead 5-3. to you by Kroger. Stop by your neighborhood Kroger. Save big store-wide. Great food, low prices at Kroger. And by Toyota. For over 30 offers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places. Well, Blake Wood, Tony Cingrani gave it up in the 7th. And now Cowboy JC Ramirez on.
Hard throwing, sinking fastball. Breaking ball is sharp from Ramirez, but it's just a little bit big to stay consistent, especially pitching out of the bullpen.
And he will face Chris Iannetta. He was up there to end the 7th for the pickoff play that ended inning number 7. Actually, what started as a pickoff play, and then they got Robinson Cano trying to score from third, caught stealing. Iannetta 0 for 3 tonight. High and tight. Purpose pitch, or did he just lose it?
No, I would say that he just let it go a bit early. But this is what happens when you're trying to throw the ball as hard as you can on every pitch. You're just not going to be consistent as far as location.
This badly. 2 in a row here. 2 balls, 1 strike. Mariners sent 8 to the plate in the 7th.
There has to be some rhythm, whether you're at the plate, whether you're in the infield, or whether you're on the mound, as far as your mechanics hitting the ball or catching the ball or pitching. And that rhythm dictates how consistent you will be, whether you're a hitter or a fielder or a pitcher. And if you're always jumping to the plate, ripping that glove, trying to throw everything max effort, you're not going to be consistent.
That ball was fouled. Did that hit Barnhart and over the screen?
Hit right off the top of his mask.
Check this out. Boom. And clear over the backstop. Ouch. Leadoff walk. And here we go again. Sixth walk of the night for Reds pitching. And a hit batter. Excuse me, 2 hit batsmen. 6 walks, hit 2 batters. Here's Martin. Couple of walks, scored a run, single. Squares around. Foul ball. Franklin Gutierrez stepped into the on-deck circle. The rain continues to come down here at Great American Ballpark. The 0-1 pitch from Ramirez. Every time I say that, he goes over.
Well, I don't think Chris Iannetta is going anywhere.
I don't think so either. He has not attempted a stolen base this season.
I'm not sure that he's attempted one in the last few years. But there are some pitchers, and I know I did this. You look in for the sign, you shake off once, you don't want to shake off again, so you just pick to first and you start over.
0-2 pitch hit well to right field. Bruce going back. Can't get it. Double. Leonis Martin. And now it's second and third and nobody down. Scored a double. And now here's Franklin Gutierrez.
0-2 pitch, tried to get it in, left it out over the plate. And there will be some folks that will say, well, Jay Bruce should have caught that ball. Well, on an 0-2 pitch, you shouldn't give up a bullet like that.
Reds infield will play in. That outside strike call again. One and one.
You know, when you see guys struggle, whether they're at the plate or on the mound, especially young pitchers, as the season goes on, you'd like to see them make some adjustments and improve, as we've seen with Adam Duvall at the plate.
Ground ball to third. Suarez. Votto. One out.
We've seen it with Cozart over the years. Even Billy Hamilton this year made some adjustments, starting to put the bat on the ball a little bit more. That's what I would like to see out of the Reds bullpen. I'd like to see incremental adjustments and moving back in a positive direction, because in order to stay at this level, you have to adjust. And if what you're doing is not working, like just trying to throw the ball as hard as you can on every pitch, you're going to walk guys, you're going to leave the ball in the middle of the plate, you're going to give up home runs. So you've got to make an adjustment. Okay, I've got to learn to locate the ball away from my arm side and get the ball down in the strike zone. The only way that you can do that is be solid mechanically, and you can't go out there and try to throw every pitch as hard as you possibly can.
Marte in the air to center. Runner will tag from third and will score easily. 6-3 Seattle. You know the saying, walks will haunt, and that leadoff walk scores. And a 3-run cushion for the Mariners. And here's Seth Smith. Smith 1 for 3 and drew one of those walks in the 7th and scored. Runner in scoring position at second. Ground ball right at Phillips. Mariners add another, and they've doubled up on the Reds.
Ohio. Make sure to stick around for Reds Live, brought to you by Performance Kings Honda, for a complete recap and interviews from the locker room immediately after the game. Tonight, it's Brian Giesensaal and yours truly. Hopefully the Reds can get some runs here, Jim Day.
Well, they've got 2 cracks at it. And they've got 4, 5, and 6 coming to the plate with Brandon Phillips to lead it off. And he will face Nick Vincent. What can you tell us about Mr. Vincent?
Vincent picked up from the Padres a year ago. Had an awfully good start. He's got a hard sinker, really smooth slider, very difficult to pick up. And his slider not only has break to it, but as the ball breaks away from right-handers, it just continues to dive away. I would call that a slider with finish.
First pitch to Phillips, in there for a strike. Phillips has faced Vincent 3 times in his career. 0 for 3. Another bearded pitcher. Slap the other way, just foul. What is it with all the beards and the pitchers these days? For a long time, actually.
Yeah, I just think it's part of the culture, part of trying to look the part of an intimidating person on the field, whether you're at the play. I mean, there are a lot of hitters that have it. I mean, the Boston Red Sox, seemingly that every player they had a beard.
Seems like a lot more pitchers nowadays. You ever have a beard?
Never. But I had some long hair. And in my time, that's what everybody did.
Phillips down on strikes. Oh, I've seen some of your old baseball cards.
I know you have.
Looking good.
Not so good. Here's the slider. Really not the patented slider for Vincent, but it started on the outside corner and got off the plate enough to get a swing from Phillips.
Now Jay Bruce. 0 for 3, has been punched out twice. The 1-0 from Vincent. Fouled off. Vincent has only given up 1 run over his last 12 1/3 innings pitched coming into this inning. And the bullpen for the Mariners, if you talk to everyone that covers the club, has really been the surprise of the team.
And that's been without Joaquin Benoit, who was supposed to be their main setup man.
High fly ball. Cruz has it. 2 down. Tomorrow, the world's best drivers compete in a winner-take-all fight for $1 million in the NASCAR Sprint Cup All-Star Race at 8:30 Eastern. You can see it only on Fox Sports 1, or you can watch it on Fox Sports Go. 2 outs and Eugenio Suarez. Mariners looking to go 11-2 all-time versus Cincinnati. This is one of those clubs the Reds have just had their troubles with. And that is the best record for the Mariners versus any single opponent all time. Obviously a smaller sample size than teams they'll play in the American League, particularly in their own division. but an .833 winning percentage coming in. .0-2 pitch to Suarez, swing and a miss. And a 1-2-3 inning for Nick Vincent. We're going to the ninth. For our Miller time moment brought to you by Miller Lite. Take you back to the 6th inning. Billy Hamilton. Adam Lind robbed. Check out our Fox vision. He goes 100 feet. Sells out. Makes the out. Billy. Big league play.
Yeah, it's
Miller time moment.
It's one thing to go 100 feet on a ball that hangs up a long time. That ball was a bullet.
Yep. All right, on for the Reds. Jumbo
Diaz. And he's another guy just trying to get it straightened out. Sent down for a bit. Now back up here in the big leagues. And last year when the Reds sent him down and he came back and threw the ball awfully well. And I'm sure the Reds would like to have that Jumbo Diaz on the mound.
Well, he's now sporting those glasses, and the boys were talking about it the other night, compared him to the Wild Thing, Ricky Vaughn from the movie Major League. Now, you youngsters out there, we will recap what that meant. In that movie, Ricky Vaughn couldn't see. His manager noticed it.
Well, he couldn't see the sign.
He couldn't see the signs, and that is exactly what happened to Jumbo. I talked to him the other day. I said, what's up with the glasses? He went down to Louisville and couldn't see the signs from his catcher, actually threw the wrong pitch. They sent him to the doctor, said you need glasses. He had never wore contacts or glasses before, and now he's got the prescription glasses / goggles, and it didn't help him there.
It's like he slipped as he started to come to the plate. It's a little wet out there right now.
Big fella almost went down. That might have shook the ground a little.
Well, I'll tell you this, when I got to the big leagues, I couldn't see the signs either. Looked like his foot, well, actually his front heel caught the downward slope. He didn't slip. I couldn't see the signs either.
You couldn't at all? Did you get contacts after that?
I wore Oakley prescription sunglasses.
Cano hits it right into the shift. That's 6-3 on that putout.
And I wore them only for a limited amount of time, simply because at Candlestick it would be real cool.
But that wind would be
the wind would be howling, so it would cool the glasses. And when you got in the dugout, your body heat would make the glasses fog up. And even with the prescription. If the glasses are fogging up, you can't see anything anyway. And I had a game in the Astrodome where, you know, you're inside. It's humid in there anyway. I couldn't see anything. I threw 3 pitches. I didn't even know where I was throwing them. Finally, one went into the gap, and those glasses went up against the concrete wall, and that was the end of that.
Oh, my. That is a big fly. Upper deck job. Nelson Cruz. His 9th of the season, and the Mariners have played add-on. That's up where the big boys play.
That ball is supposed to be on the outside corner, and it ends up on the inside corner. Just can't miss that far location-wise against good hitter.
That was nearly halfway up the second deck. Be interested to hear the distance on that bad boy. It's one of those where you give a stare job. Well, the Mariners had their closer up, Steve Cishek, but now the little add-on, it's Peralta back in there.
And Peralta was getting loose earlier in the ball game. This is not his first time up. He was up, I think, back in the 6th inning.
421 feet on that Nelson Cruz bomb. 4, 2, 1. Three and 1 to count. The count to Kyle Seager. Hit pretty good to left. Duvall on the track. He's got it for out number 2. So this at bat will be big fella versus big fella. Jumbo and Dejo. Two big uns. Lee pinch hit in the 7th, and it was a big one. 2 RBI single, and that one is gone. Dejo Lee, 2nd home run of the inning given up by Jumbo Diaz, and it's 8-3.
Hanging slider. Misses middle in. We saw earlier with Dejo Lee, that front foot steps back towards the third base bag, and you spin one out over the plate. That's right into his swing.
These home runs given up 7th inning or more now are beyond an epidemic for this Reds pitching staff. Is that 30 or 31 in the last 41 games?
30.
30 home runs
after the 7th.
7th inning after the 7th inning. 7th inning on 30 home runs. And we are on game 42 tonight. Not a good ratio.
And it's not that the guys that are taking the mound don't have the stuff to compete up here. It's the fact that they are concentrating more on velocity and how much the breaking ball breaks rather than location and pitch selection.
Down swinging is Iannetta. 2 long balls in the inning for the Mariners. They own this one. of the game. Zach Kozar, inning number 3. And home run number 5. It was a solo shot off of Hisashi Iwakuma. And the Reds were in business early. They led 3-0 in this one. And led 3-0 through 5 innings. Dan Straley went 6, gave up 1, only to see the bullpen give up 4 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th. And the aforementioned Joel Peralta on in the 9th for the Mariners.
As you talked about earlier, this inning was supposed to be for Steve Cishek, but after the 2 home runs there in the 9th, they got Peralta back up.
Sean O'Malley is taking over defensively in right field for the Mariners, as Adam Duvall lead it off for Cincinnati. Adam singled in his first 2 times up, grounded out in the 6th. Average sitting at 275. Product of Louisville. That's down by 5. Needing a big time rally. Three different start times in this series. Scheduled 7:10 tonight. Well, we got underway late after a 45-minute rain delay. 4:10 first pitch tomorrow. 1:10 on Sunday. Foul ground. Lee has it. 1 out. And it doesn't get any easier tomorrow. Felix Hernandez will be pitching for the Mariners. But as big a challenge as that is, looking forward to seeing him pitch. Go against John Lamb. He earned that nickname too. Tucker Barnhart 2 for 3 tonight. A couple of singles. One of them was a bunt single. Beautiful one at that. Got the shift on for Tucker again. But this time not quite giving him the third base. Well, now he's going to move over a little bit. Reds need some base runners. Ramon Cabrera in the on-deck circle for Cincinnati.
It's been a while since we've seen Cabrera get an at-bat.
Yep.
Which when you're the backup catcher, it's not like they can throw you in there to pinch hit.
The Reds do have that luxury of having Pacheco on the roster, but he is yet to catch a single inning. But his natural position and in the dirt. 2-2. Peralta bringing the 2-2 pitch. High and outside.
Yeah, you have to feel good for Tucker Barnhart tonight, getting a couple of hits on the board. You end up having to take over behind the plate, getting not just a couple of starts a week, but 5 or 6 starts a week, and that it takes its toll not only on your legs but on your body. It tends to slow your bat down a little bit, or at least make you feel like you've got to speed up some things.
They gave him a night off in Cleveland, and I talked to him that night. I said, I thought they were going to wear you out, my man. He said, no, I'm good.
Well, that's just how Tucker is. That's what he's going to say.
Yep. Three-two pitch. Joel Peralta, 40 years of age now. Signed through 2016. Hails from the Dominican Republic. Tucker, third hit of the night. And indeed, Ramon Cabrera will hit. One out here in the ninth. It's down by 5.
There's another one of those fastballs up. High thigh. But that pitch started on the inside corner. So for Barnhart, he's thinking, I've got to commit. And then it runs out middle away and runs right into the bat head.
Cabrera, switch hitter from the left side against the righty Peralta. First pitch, strike. The 0-1. Strike 2. Cabrera, 26 years old, product of Venezuela. Down on strikes. Mariners 1 out away, taking game 1 of this 3-game set. 9th strikeout of the night for Mariners pitching. And Zach Cozart representing the Reds' last chance. There goes the runner from first. That'll be defensive indifference. No stolen base.
I've not seen Peralta throw a breaking ball in this inning. Everything has been fastball or changeup, straight over the top. There's a breaking ball. As soon as that say it. Wasn't a very good one either. Spinner up around the helmet.
Two balls, no strikes. Into right. And that's the old ball game. Mariners score 1 in the 6th, 4 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th to roll to an 8-3 victory over the Reds. We're back with more after this.